the one and only, Mr. Dr. Roni.
Hello, hello. I am so excited to talk about this subject. You know why? People sort of get mad when I talk about this subject, food addictions. Yes, right? But they really don't know what causes it. They just think that they like to eat, or they just think that, they have these cravings. But let me tell you the top things that cause food addiction. You're going to be shocked. Because people are in denial all the time, right? They deny
Absolutely.
this stuff, right? Oh, that's not me. I just like food. No, you're eating it all day. The number one cause is anxiety, depression. It's called emotional eating, sadness. And there's binge eating because there's bulimia, there's uh, food cravings because their sugar's low. That's medical. But let me tell you, the top one is always emotional. And you want to know something? Irrational beliefs. Do you know some of the most craziest beliefs that people eat a lot? Oh, I have meetings every day. I go out with the girls for lunch. Then I go out with my family for dinner. Then when I get home, I have to cook. So those are called irrational beliefs. Basically, what people are doing, because there's some medical hormone stuff that causes it as well. But really, what's going on, they have all of these irrational beliefs and depression and anxiety and stresses of the everyday life. Those are the reasons why people binge eating, why they have an addiction. Now, there's, of course, some other things besides being lonely and liking food. The other reasons why that we have some hormone problems, like I'm sure you guys heard of serotonin, right? You've heard of leptin. Like
Right.
serotonin helps us with happiness. It's one of those things that helps us with happy mood. If you have a bad mood or your serotonin's out of whack, you're gonna be hungry all the time because your serotonin's out of whack all day long, unless you correct it. Cortisol is another one, and that's that stress hormone that's really high. When your hormone levels are really high, that cortisol, all day long, you're eating bags of chips. What do you call those? M&Ms. You know why chips and M&Ms? Because salt and sugar are at the top of the list for cravings, believe it or not. And that's why people gravitate to those little 7-Elevens and, Cumberland Farm stores. Our food addiction people, they're always in those stores because they get quick fix, bag of chips, quick fix, M&Ms. The other hormone that gets completely out of whack is leptin. Now, leptin is a hormone that's sort of like puts everything, it regulates your hunger. So if your leptin's out of control, right, you're always hungry, right? Unless you fix that problem. You'll notice that a lot of diet pills will have something that helps leptin. You'll also notice that ghrelin is another hormone that's out of whack. That hormone is like a hunger hormone. Like people are always hungry, 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 hungry. And people that are always hungry, you know what they eat the most of? Carbs. Carbs. And what is carbs going to do, right? It's going to increase your sugar levels, right? And then it's going to give you that high, shoot way up. They'll go to a quick fix store and they'll get like a bag of something, chips with some orange juice. The worst things you want to do, right? Because that sugar level goes way up and then it goes crashing down. When it crashes down, what are you going to do? Get more. So these are some of the things that, I know a lot of people are going to want to know what to do about it, but we'll talk about that afterwards. But another one I want to tell you about dopamine. No, I forgot about that one because dopamine is another hormone. It's sort of like I call it the neurotransmitter that's the happy hormone, And if you're not happy and you're depressed, guess what? There goes that junk food again. So all you food addiction people out there, get some real help, some psychological help, because I talk a lot about the high fives. When I talk about the high fives, right, I'll say hi, but this is the part that I love to say because this is the part that gets people attention. I will say, okay, high five is people are dropping dead because of all the high fives. 55 and older, people get the high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar, right? Here we go. High weight, high stress, a recipe for death. Now, by the time you get to high stress, you already had all the other ones. But the bottom line is that every single one of those conditions causes Food addictions, when they have high A1C or they're diabetic, do you know what they think about all day? Sugar. They're diabetic and they think about sugar all day. You know, when people, I don't understand why when I say this, they go, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like I say, so when you eat sugar, it's literally going to do exactly what you want it to do. It's going to raise your sugar levels way high. And your insulin is the job that is supposed to grab that sugar and it's supposed to put that sugar in your energy, into your cells, so you can use it for energy. But at some point, you don't have enough insulin. So guess what? Your body says, look, hey, I can't, my pancreas is overwhelmed. I can't produce what you want me to produce because you're just eating too much. So what it does is it dumps the sugar into your bloodstream. And what does that do? Cause a high A1C, right? So at some point, your body's got to use that glucose. Here I'm going with the high fives. Got to use that glucose, but it can't because it's too much. So it turns to fat, right? Now you're stressed and you're shame, you're feeling guilty. You know what happens when you're stressed and you feel guilty, right? More sugar, right? And then it's a chain reaction because then you say, well, maybe I shouldn't. I know I have this craving. I know I got to do something. So I'm going to be smart and I'm not going to do sugar. I'm just going to do a bag of chips. Okay. They're going to do a bag of chips, right? It's not their fault. The reason why it's not your fault is because your levels of your hormones, your leptin, your dopamine, your adrenaline, all of these levels are being overcharged, and it gets to the point where there's a tolerance. When you have a tolerance, now you need more. You see what I'm saying?
You're
And
never
so
gonna be
those
satiated.
hormones don't know what to do for you anymore, just like your insulin.
Just like you mentioned about the hormone, the leptin signals your brain when you're like, okay, I'm full, I'm good, I'm satiated. But also, there's a big rage right now. This is why Ozempic and all these different type of stuff that has been coming out have been gaining so much popularity. It's because they have been able to activate a hormone that's in our body. It's GLP-1. So
Yeah.
it's glucose-like peptide 1. This hormone is the one that tells your body your stomach is full. You can't go anymore. So they're tricking your brain into falling into stuff to make you think, wow, this is a very miraculous medicine. This treatment is just amazing. No, your body's just signaling the wrong signs. You're just saying, I'm full. I don't want to eat anymore, which this is what we have to control. And people, as a byproduct, they start losing weight. And everybody's like, wow, the miracle. No, it's not a miracle. It's called training your body to go back to its reset. But it should be activated in a natural way. This is one of the things that NAD can do. This is stuff that also you can get in a natural form. You don't need to get to that extreme. Now, I'm not bashing it. It's helped many other people, but when it comes to phenomenon, when people think this is the solution, like I'll gain 30 pounds and I'll just drop them because I'll take some Ozempic and I'll be good. No, down the road, you're gonna start having all these repercussions in your body, and your body's gonna start going out of whack. Your hormones are out of whack because now you were triggering your hormones without activating normally and naturally. Guess what? Down the road, your body's gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta tax you." Your body aches. Oh, your kidneys ain't functioning right. Oh, your tongue ain't feeling right. You can't even taste this stuff right because a lot of stuff that's popping up now. It's crazy. People are losing
Yeah.
their senses. They don't feel like they can smell right. They don't taste good. They don't have the taste buds. Oh, but you wanted to drop some weight. But you didn't want to break the food addiction in the first place. So you thought a miraculous a solution was just going to kick you out of it. No. But hey, you know what, Dr. Roni? We have a very special guest on here tonight. I don't know if she's paying attention, but I want to kind of like pick her brains because I know she's an expert in this area. She might be able to give us some insight on people who has broken out of or have these food addictions because they're like everywhere. Now, I don't know if she's
Everywhere.
they're everywhere. You know what's the craziest part? I know that there are people, who work in corporate America and they're in the office, probably very busy, and they do have options, but they say they don't. They say they
Yeah.
don't. So they lean on, oh, I gotta get I gotta get the prep bowls and just warm them up. I gotta get the stuff that's already there and just warm it up and eat it. First off, you're doing it in the microwave, you're doing it wrong because you're just killing yourself. Second, the additives, the preservatives, everything that's going in there is just destroying your body. But I want to see if she's on here tonight. She allowed me to ask her something. Dr. Ramunda, who I just saw right now, to give us some words of wisdom tonight. She's a gut health expert. She's hydrocolonic expert therapist as well. And I'm pretty sure she's experienced a lot of these things where people have come in and she said, all you have is an addiction of food and you just don't even notice. But please help me welcome to our virtual stage, the one and only, my sister from another Mr. Ramundo with the DR in the front. What's going on, Rockstar?
Going on, what's going on? This your girl Reminder with the DI in front coming by way of what? You know what I do. You know what I do. Come on. Look where I'm at. Look where I'm hanging up at this moment. Getting prepared for a grand opening. Where they are plant-based options would be here. We're talking about food, just happen to be talking about food, right? So as a wisdom wellness moment, this is what you need to do. Learn to live with food that's going to satisfy your intake, not your outtake. Get satisfying food that's going to satisfy your intake, not your outtake. What that means, give you food, eat food that's going to give you life. You see, that's going to give you life, not give you death. Understand that your food is your main source of your minerals, your vitamins, which is your immune booster. So when you taking food in, look here, I'm already at the location. I'm just waiting for the door to open. This your girl Reminder with the DR in front coming by way of what? Hey, food is your way of life. Plant-based is it.
That's awesome. It's amazing. Now, with everybody out there who's probably listening for the first time and you want to connect with them, you can find them on social media with their names and handles, Dr. Ramunda Ings on all social media platforms, and also the amazing Dr. Roni, which you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and even on YouTube. So make sure to go like and subscribe, comment on their videos, get some insights. But if you really want to get like the VIP stuff, then stay tuned. So we're going to tell you where to find that and have a private community where you can literally have her once a week to like pick her brains, get coaching. And if you want to get personal consultation, you can connect with her. She's really good with, people in the community. She's treating people very well with prices that we can all afford. So make sure to connect with her and do not forget to write down them questions. Bring them as much as you can. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to know more about this, just drop the word food or ask about how, and we'll be able to connect you with them. But let's get back to what we were talking about, because this addiction has to be broken down in a certain way where we create a better awareness and we make a better, a healthier future for our future generations. Hence, we know that we're competing against the big pyramid of the food industry. The food industry, they know they want you addicted to their food. I said it. I want to bring it out there, but no, it's true. The food industry, especially with the chain that they have treated us. Listen, did you know that you were not designed to eat 3 times a day? You're designed to eat when you are hungry, not when you're craving. And then that takes a little while. We were not designed to spike our insulin 3 times a day and have in-betweens because you have snacks in-betweens. Our body wasn't designed for that. So the food
And
industry
that's
wants
what the
to believe.
schools used to do, right? The
Yeah,
school.
that's where it all starts. The schools.
Mhm.
You get the breakfast, you get the recess, then you get the lunch, you get another break. Hey, remember at 3 o'clock or whenever you're going home, you got to eat, and then you get another snack in between.
It's
And when
crazy.
you're a kid, you're burning it out because you're bouncing off the walls. But once you start hitting the teens, and once you start, especially in today's world where you don't have much activity because of all those devices are
The
everywhere.
technology. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
off the chain.
This is where
Yeah.
we come, and we are making a healthier future in this sick world. We're making the best of it. And when I say we, it's just the community, but in reality, is the one who's paving the way, the one who's making things possible, leaving her footprints in this world is the amazing Dr. Roni. This is why we have her on here tonight. Not just because she's the bestseller, not just because she's a naturopathic doctor and a holistic healer, not just because she's a co-founder of Melted Vineyard Retreat. No, it's because her heart and her passion is really in where she wants to make an impact. And I always say we're gonna have those ripples of happiness and healthier people all over the world thanking her. Look at Cynthia, looking amazing. Look at Claudia, looking incredible. Look at Adriana. Look at all the rock stars who are already part of the Detox for Longevity. If you don't know what that is, ask the person who invited you. If you're on Facebook, just say, what is the Detox? And we'll give you some information. But you need to know what's happening right now. People are beginning to live a better life, a healthier life. And on top of that, you're going to live longer because you do so. No, God forbid, nobody gets hit by a bus, never. But we want to live longer because you take care of your temple. We are what we eat, literally. All right. So we want to put that in there. Now, getting back to the topic, Dr. Ronnie, this
Well,
food
I
addiction.
like that when you say we are what we eat, right? So sometimes I get people that when they come to the retreat, they'll come with one of the high fives or even sometimes worse, like cancer or, an autoimmune condition. But at the bottom of everything, they always want to know what to eat. they get this, let food be your medicine. And for a long time, I was bored with the subject because I've been doing this for over 35 years. So, I get bored. Okay, here's another food question. But then I remember someone told me, you got to meet them where they're at, not where you're at. And so I said, wow, I thought about that, right? So when I get food addictions, and I know at the bottom of that, there's shame and there's guilt and all of that. And then you start asking them why they really came to the retreat. You'd be surprised that some of them have been abused, in their 50s, in their 60s. I think my average age is from 40 to 60. You'll find that even at that age, they're now ready to talk about the abuse that they had to undergo when they were a child. So some of these emotions bring out the food addiction, believe it or not, when you get older. When you get older, not when you were a child, because you're busy and you're going through stuff and you have a tremendous ability to have what's called denial. But as we get older, that denial just starts coming right off of us. We are completely aware of what happened to us. Now we want to do something. So I want to talk about a few things that we have to do. And because you're leading down that road to death when you're constantly gaining the weight and mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, and then of course you're going to get one of the high fives with this whole food addiction. You literally are dying a slow death when you really look at it. You got to stop it. The thing of it is that I would love to run across a food addiction person that eats all healthy food, but they're not going to do it, because if it's healthy food, you don't have the cravings, right? You only have the cravings when you're eating bad, processed, over sugar, over salt food. And it's a vicious cycle. I always say the first thing you have to think about is identify the trigger, okay? In the middle of the day, you could be minding your own business in the car, going to work. All of a sudden, you'll just start hysterical crying, right? Now, instead of saying, why am I doing this? Why did I feel so bad? Why am I depressed? They're going to stop at 7-Eleven. And they're going to get some soda, some chips, and some chocolate ice cream with vanilla inside. I mean, it's an example, but this is what they're doing, right? Identify the trigger. What am I thinking about that created this stop here? And that's the first thing you have to do. And you got to get that corrected. You got to see a therapist. You got to work on it. If you keep throwing these things underneath the carpet, you're not going to have a cure for it. It's going to come from underneath the carpet periodically, and you got to work on it. You got to create an eating plan, and a big, huge sheet. Put it on your mirror. I don't care. Put it on your wall. This is what I'm going to do during the day, no matter what. I'm going to do this, this, this. And guess what, guys? Whether you know it or not, one of the best things you could do for food addiction is a detox. Yep, I said it, a detox. This detox that everybody's going through and talking about right now, do you know it has major minerals, major vitamins, major phytonutrients, and at the same time, it has huge amount of immune boosters. It's probiotic. I mean, it's at the end, it has everything you need to sustain better health. So that doing a detox will help you with your food addiction. And then when you immediately come off of it, you go on that petty. When you have a food addiction, it's time to focus on yourself. Even if you have to pack your bags and go to a retreat just so that you can do that. Because at the end, if you don't, you're going down that road to, I'm telling you, to major stress breakdown. And that's when you start having the 5 highs. So, Dr. Raimondo, if you're still on, I want you to be able to say to everyone here, what happens to the gut when you're constantly having processed food, putting in the salt, putting in the sugar, putting in the trans fats, lack of minerals, lack of vitamins, lack of fiber? What happens when you're doing that for a prolonged period of time? What's happening to your gut?
Dr. Roni, so Dr. Munda, I think she was going into that restaurant that they were going to do the launch. So I can still see her, but I think she was saying she was going to go into
Well,
a
let me tell
restaurant that
you.
was being launched or something.
Okay.
So, oh, there she is again, though. One second. Dr. Munda.
Yes, you calling me?
Yeah,
There she is.
we were talking about when you put a tremendous amount of processed food in the colon, day in and day out for long periods of time, trans fats, lack of fiber, lack of probiotics, excess salt, excess sugar, a long period of time, what happens to your gut besides the fact that you're really acid?
Well, the acidity becomes, by that time you started to develop, if you're talking about the poison that develop inside of your gut in your intestinal area, it becomes known as sepsis or leaky gut.
Mm-hmm.
So as that poison starts leaking, because your small intestines where all your nutrients is absorbed. So the nutrients is absorbed into your small intestine, which also goes to your blood flow. And your blood flow is actually from the nutrients is what feeds your organs. So again, if your body's not digesting properly, if you're not digesting properly, not absorbing properly, definitely not going to eliminate properly. So that poison is going to accumulate with the acidity. That's what makes your body so acidic. You see, and so a lot of times people don't realize that's what, when you look at somebody's death, for example, my sister, she said she had sepsis, which is sepsis, went into sepsis, shock from sepsis, which is poison of the blood. You see, and so that means in the heart, that it attacks the heart, all these things because of the poison. You know, anything that has poison in your body so acidic, you got to look at, you got an alkaline, our body's not alkaline. You got to balance the alkalinity in order for your body to heal. But when your body pH levels are very low, then you're going to have very major problems.
Yes. And that's
that's pretty
a lot of people
amazing.
when they have they can tell because they have the fetid breath and they have a lot of gas and they have, just poor skin. And you literally, sometimes I can look at someone and say, that person has a digestive issue. They're not absorbing their nutrients. They have really dry skin, dry hair, brittle nails. Because
I mean, that's when the candida,
colon,
that candida too, doc. That candida builds up,
mm-hmm.
which causes inflammation and clogged arteries. When you're talking about cholesterol issues, clogged arteries, all these type of issues that people have is associated with what goes on in your gut. So if your gut is toxic and it's sharing and you have lack of, that's how you become a mineral deficiency. It's because your body's not been able to absorb the mineral nutrients that it needs to have because of the toxicity levels.
The one thing that I learned when I was in naturopathic school, I didn't like when I heard this. It bothered me for a long time, but now I get it. So when I went and I started learning about the colon and I read this book and the title of the book was Death Starts in the Colon, right? So that's profound, for somebody like, young person at that age going through school and they go, death starts in the colon. What are they talking about? Right? Now, years later, you understand that. You understand what our food does to us. You understand that if you don't put in the good stuff, how can it run like a good engine, right? If you put in bad oil, your car breaks down. If we put in bad food, our bodies break down. It just makes so much sense. And the food goes in this way, but it has to be processed in the colon. So if you put bad food in this way, it's not being processed the right. And it's definitely not getting to where it's supposed to go. And that's your organs.
And you have linings. And because we have linings in our body, we got 30 feet of a digestive tract. So we got linings. Our gut has a lining wall. So that lining wall, as it plaque up and the mucus builds up over the amount of years, and it builds up. So I had one lady one time came and got a client. Her whole mucosa sac of intestinal stool came out. And she kept having this balled up knot in her colon on the left side. Remember, you eliminate from the left side of your body. So I ended up had to put water to hydrate it just in order for it to move and break down because she had so much blockages.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's powerful. One of the things that happens a lot of people associate, well, they don't know what's happening, but this is going to be aligned with next week's topic. So anybody who wants to take notes and be ready to bring people on here, this is the best time, because guess what's happened to a lot of people who's suffering a lot of these leaky gut and all that? They start getting brain fog. So people think it's attention span. People think it's just, ADHD or stuff like that. Yeah, the sugars are very, very part of that, but this creates that cycle because your leaky gut starts affecting, it goes into your bloodstream, it gets to your brain, you start having brain fog, you can't think right, you're just like trying to get words out, and they don't come out because of this happening. Now, this is a completely other topic we're going to be hitting on. We're going to have a deep dive next week, so you don't want to miss out on that. But this is why Dr. Roni has created the Detox for Longevity. You need to cleanse out your organs, your whole body. Like, you need to get stuff out of your body. We've talked a lot about toxins many times and other topics. We also talked about, why these bad eatings create not just the bad habits, but it creates a really down road to your health in many ways. So if you're on here watching, if you're for the first time on this Zoom or you're watching on Facebook, I highly suggest get with the person who invited you and ask them more about the detox for longevity, because you're going to cleanse out your kidneys, your liver, your lungs, your whole body's going to cleanse out, and your bloodstream's going to flow better. You're going to think better. You're going to feel energized. You're going to be, literally, you're going to become a different, better version of yourself. You will realize that in 21 days, you can turn around anything that might be on the verge of, God forbid, a chronic disease that's right there knocking your door, dressed in black and saying, I'm about to get over you. You can actually turn this around by being part of this longevity detox. Now, before it was $3,500. Today, if you're on here and you're going to watch the replay on this, please do not miss out on this. There's amazing testimonies of people. Now, yes, you're going to lose weight as a byproduct, for sure. But beyond that, let's try not to focus about the weight so much. Although, hey, everybody want to look good, especially now. Christmas around the corner. You do want to look good. You want to feel better, but it's your health that matters the most. Being able to breathe better, sleep better, because you don't have all that junk going around. You don't have your body just giving you those signs of, hey, I'm giving you red flags and you're not paying attention. And like Dr. Roni says, all these high fives, they begin in those secrets. So the stress, the anxiety takes you to overeating, spikes up your sugar. You start getting fat, or, well, not fat, but you start getting weight. Yeah, I got to say it like that because it's true. But this longevity detox is designed to help you live a better life. Like we said, we're creating a healthier, better version of you in this sick world that we're living in today. And no one out there is going to stop doing what they're doing. The industries are going to continue doing what they're doing. If you don't take care of yourself, no one can do it for you. You got to remember, your body is the only place you will spend the rest of your life. You got to give it the best. So I wanted to throw that out there. If you want to know more about that, drop Detox in the comments, or with the person who invited you, or drop me, so we can get to you and give you the right information and plug you with Dr. Roni, because you won't get nobody out there who really cares for your health and for your well-being like she does. So I just want to point that out. I want to put that out there as it is. If anybody watching on Facebook, get on board. We're going to have another group now starting in October, and you don't want to miss out. Listen, you want to be able to enjoy Thanksgiving coming around the corner, but if you're all stuffed and full of junk, by the first plate, you'll be knocked out with your family. Everybody partying, you'll be sleeping. So you don't want that to happen.
Well, I want to tell all my friends this. If you give your body bad food, it will crave it. If you give your body good food, it will crave it. So give your body good food, because that's the way to longevity. Because bad food, the body doesn't know what to do with it. So it dumps it into the trash can. And Dr. Raimondo knows what trash can is, your colon. If you give your body good food, it processes it through your cellular space. It gets right there into the cells. That's the only way you can use it. You cannot use food in your colon. So good luck. And I want everybody to really take this very serious. And that is that every single year you must do 21 days of this detox for longevity, and at least 7 days, 4 times a year.
Wow. Couldn't get any better. Give her some hearts, give her some love, and we want you to know that this world is a better place because you're in it, Dr. Roni. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for pouring your heart, for giving us your wisdom, for giving us this time. It's such a busy life that you have things to do. You always carve out the time to be with us, and that's something we can never really pay back in full, and we reap the benefits of having a healthier life because you're here, because you decided to say, we're going to go against the grain, literally against the grain, rice and everything that has to do with grain, but we're also going to make things better. We're going to pave the way for a healthier future, but it starts with you. So thank you, Dr. Roni, for always bringing your smile, bringing your passion, bringing your heart. This world is a better place because you're in it. And when God calls you one day, you and Dr. Ramunda, we know that these ripples of happiness will continue to go to the end of the world, to many homes and many more lives, because you made an impact in our lives. So thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Omar. It was a pleasure. It's my
Amen.
life.
Thank you.
Red hot topics, steamy, uncovered, unfiltered, raw, uncensored, directly for you. No one else will tell you about it, all right? God bless you all. Your body's the only place you will spend the rest of your life. Take care of it. Let's go.